Another Fulani man has been tipped to replace President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to 2031. That's the political settings. And we find that statement that they are grooming Nuhu Ribadu, who is the NSA, National Security Officer, to replace Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2031. Now, where is the place of the Igbos in all these things? Does it mean that the Igbos have no future in Nigeria? If you are watching, kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel, on notifications, drop your comments, like and then share with others. Mr. Chinedu, is there no future for the Igbos? Nuhu Ribadu is the next president after Bola Ahmed Tinubu, according to the APC calculation, which Rufai made yesterday at Arise Television. What are your opinions?
Yes, if you look at what Rufai has been saying of recently, that it was Bola Ahmed Tinubu that stopped his ministerial nomination, that it wasn't the National Assembly, and secondly, that the issue of whether he's leaving APC to PDP is nobody's business, that he will decide wherever he's going to go at the end of the day, you know. But if you look at all the calculation based on the recent arrangement with Wike over the South-South caucus meeting, where he claimed that, you know, that Wike is in charge of the PDP South-South, even though he's overseeing the APC. And then secondly, if you look at what is already building up close to a coalition of the opposition, and you begin to see what the National Security Advisor to the President, Nuhu Ribadu, what he stood for, what can actually be factored in. Nuhu Ribadu has no political image when it comes to playing politics within Nigeria. And Nuhu Ribadu can be seen as somebody who is being factored in a political arrangement just to balance a political agenda or equation, or to give regionalism or federal character a presence in the Federal Republic of Nigeria and in the government too. But let me tell you what Nigeria should understand about Rufai at this point in time, given the latest revelation. Rufai is possibly can be a tool, can be planted by, can go into agreement with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You can see the level of campaign, how support he gave Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to the extent they were traveling over the world, traveling all over the country with the same Rufai. Somewhere along the line, it can be agreed. He might be collecting his money behind the scene from Bola Ahmed Tinubu and infiltrate. They want to use him as a tool to infiltrate, as an informant in the mold of the opposition merger or coalition that's already going on. So the PDP and the Labour Party and SDP and other opposition parties who are having the plan of coming with a more powerful force to fight for 2027 presidential election should be careful with the likes of Rufai.
Where is the future of the Igbos in all these things? If
let me tell you, the balkanization of Nigeria is what is going to attack the system itself. The continuation of propagation will give the Southeast the massive support to liaise with the Yorubas to dismantle anything that has to do with Northerners completely, and that will lead to final disintegration of Nigeria. Let me tell you very clearly that at this point now, the power cannot go back to the North, and there's no how Rufai will come out and begin to campaign for another Northern president. But what the calculation all over the place, from my findings, Ango Abudlahi, you know, from the Northern Elders Forum, Ariwa Consultative Forum, Pandel, Afenifere, and other, even Middle Belt Forum, Elders Forum, yes, you know, has also come together and said that if the burden of APC continue beyond 2027, that they are going to field another candidate that is not Bola Ahmed Tinubu from the South. That's the general consensus, that's the general understanding, that's the general sentiment now. And it is going to be the way it is. I am telling you now, there is no way you are going to have another Northerner as president from if Tinubu failed to win the election. But what you are going to see is that the structural collapse of the political parties to a Southern candidate. That's what we are going to see at the end of the day. And already they are looking at this direction because there is tension in the north currently now. The tension has to do with the revelation of how to ban the book written by IBB at the moment, because that book has, dismantled so many structures that are tied to an entity that has refused to work. So they might be sitting out conveniently now. There might be emergency meeting here and there on how to, patch up Nigeria, at the end of the day by making P2B the next president of Nigeria from southern extraction. It might not be possibly an Igbo thing. It might not be possibly, people looking at it from that angle. The possibility of having a failed president of southern extraction has triggered the emergence and support and reliance of another southern president of southern extraction. And the whole thing is that the Nigerian masses, the youths, and of course other reliable groups of importance and relevance are championing that it is too much wickedness on the side of the Igbo, and it is time for the Igbo to actualize president. But even at that, because it is a topic we are treating, how it has come to that level. But I can tell you that the spirit of the Igbo people has left Nigeria for a very long time. It is going to be a mere cosmetic propaganda on the side of fielding and a certain president from Igbo extraction. But the understanding the Northerners are having at this point in time is very clearly stated, from the body languages of Atiku Abubakar, who the PDP has made it very clearly to him that he will not be allowed or advised to step down or continue to seek for the candidacy of the People Democratic Party ahead of the 2027 presidential election. I can tell you, Atiku is going to hit to that, wise talk, and look at it that I needed to build a capacity from behind and be able to give that selfless statesmanship service politically to others who knows that there's always an error in everything, and that an era of transformation, of leadership, of transformation, of integrity in terms of leadership is what Nigerians need at this point in time come 2027. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not going to be an option. I think anybody reasonable, unless the man might want to decide on his own to fight with his money, to make sure he buys everybody with his money. And of course, the issue of INEC and the judicial system also. So everything, if not gotten rightly, might lead to urgent balkanization of Nigeria. And that balkanization is what we are.
The Igbos are not tired of this so-called Nigeria, because end of the day, even if I have confirmed that Nuhu Ribadu is the next president after Buhari, after President Ahmed Tinubu, the Igbos are saying no, we are tired of this contraption. Give us our Biafra, we are tired of Nigeria. Do you think that the Igbos are now right in saying let's leave this part?
Yes, to an extent, and Nigeria knows that they are also tired. Nigeria is itself as a nation is also tired. The Yorubas are tired. The Hausas are under the influence and conquest of the Fulani. So whatever Fulani decide for them, they will forever colonize the Hausas. The middle belt will decide whether to join Biafra or to join North. That is left for them. That is the way it is now. It has been structured. Biafrans are not going to rush into sovereignty, of Biafra as a nation. Has to be carefully planned, by the international community, because you cannot predict what is going to happen tomorrow. Look at the Sahel nations, the Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Look at what Traore Ibrahim, the head of state to Burkina Faso, is doing at this point in time, and he's looking at the prospects, the giants, the individualism and the ingenuity of the Igbo people in Africa to be able to put Africa in a proper perspective. There's a reason why Donald Trump is saying that the blacks in Africa should go back to Africa and develop Africa. And that is the extent, that is how I see it. And if they are making that statement, they wouldn't want to come back to an African country or nation where there is corruption, where there is where there is killing, where the Fulanis are not allowing anybody to rest. They kill on daily basis and nobody is checkmating them. If it is under in other same world, like in Bosnia or in other like in Israel or Middle East, this thing that has to do with Boko Haram for years will not be able to be sustained up to this moment. But because of it is Africa, the United Nations, the international security agencies, have continued to look the other way. The other way. Nobody wants to tell us how Boko Haram has been sustained up to this moment. Nobody wants to say anything in that direction. So if you look at it properly, you will see that we are not going to repeat in a hurry the nonsense that we got ourselves trying to befriend Nigeria. We are not going to befriend Nigeria again. But I can tell you in honest truth that Biafra will be carefully planned with the support of the international community. And it will be structured in a way that it will become a reliable force that will protect the black race and Africa, and in leadership too. And that is why they are looking at before this thing get to this level where it is now. Nigeria need to have a test of Igbo mass leadership. The test longer throat and now they are looking for it. Now let us test Igbo leadership and see how it will look like. The Northerners are hungry for it because Igbos have endured, and inside that endurance and marginalization and suppression, the Igbo concept have thrived over the years. The Igbo continue to push from one little point to another, or without any support from the government. But the reality now has shown that the time has come. If the reality is on ground, but I can tell you, there's no how after Bola Ahmed Tinubu, power will return to the north. Be it Nuhu Ribadu, be it Rufai, that is nonsensical. What I've told you what the north is planning to do, and giving this latest revelation now. They're already in an emergency meeting. There's negotiations going up and down. Everybody is in struggle. Everything is on the table. What do we do to apologize? What do we do to bring Igbo? What do we do not to let them go? What do we do? We have wronged them. That's what is on ground now. So pushing back presidency to the north will be no good thing for now. But I can tell you in honest truth, if you look at what is actually going on, the Bola Ahmed, so that further release of the book should be on hold because the book is reaching all the nations, and many nations now are now sympathetic to the Biafran people. That the genocide of the civil war and the coup was not the fault of the Igbos. If you are watching, kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel, on notifications, drop your comments, like and share, and watch all of our former videos for more information. Mr. Ralph, Finland has now summoned the Nigerian ambassador. We want to see you over the case of Simon Ekpa because his people are not the cause of the civil war and they didn't conduct the military coup. How does that come to you, sir?
There is not much international sympathy, going on all around the globe in favor of Igbo man, bordering on the book released by IBB recently. It was actually discovered that the coup was all Nigerian coup. It wasn't particularly for Igbo man. The Igbo man were killed, the whole military officers in the barracks across Nigeria in their large numbers. I could remember a pregnant wife of a particular soldier from Igbo extraction, as a result of, let me say, a high moral and respect in the military, he shot his wife. No, he shot his husband. His husband killer was his husband's brother. What a pity. Colonel Unebu was shot in the presence of his wife, pregnant wife, by a military officer who happens to be his immediate junior brother. That is the kind of respect they have within the military hierarchy. So the book written by IBB, the former military head of state of this country, has actually vindicated the entire Igbos that the genocide of 1967, 68, 69, 70 was for nothing. The Igbos have been vindicated. This is attracting international sympathies from all European countries, American countries, Asians, and even Australia. They have now begun to ask questions. There should be compensation, reparation if care is not taken. But the question now is that can Igbo man take anything, material or otherwise, for compensation? Is the current quest for emancipation of Biafra or secession of Biafra or ceding away from Nigerian country not what is paramount or tantamount in the mind of the Igbos? I think secession, ceding away, emancipation of Biafran nation is what Igbo man needed now. We don't need compensation, we don't need reparation. Igbo man being in his own region, his own nation is what is very, very paramount in the minds of the Igbos. The killings of 1967 was based on the fact that a coup that was staged was orchestrated or planned by a particular region in Nigeria. They went after that region and made sure that they actually killed over 6 million people. I mean 6 million Igbos were acquired by a Nigerian military clique led by Colonel Gowon, sponsored by British government under a particular prime minister in Britain then from 1967 to 1970. I know the name of the man, but I couldn't remember it. Very soon I will still work on my research to find out his name. He sponsored the killings, he sponsored Nigerian military clique, supplied them with arms, and actually it was obvious a genocide was going on then, and which made an Irishman, an Irish admirer, Igbo admirer, and a good Samaritan. So someone, a martyr, he died for the Igbos by what? Pouring petrol, gasoline on his body in front of United Nations Secretariat, New York. He ignited lighter, and the flame engulfed this man. This man committed suicide. He died. So what am I trying to say? It attracted international sympathy then. The way Kwachoko, malnutrition actually exterminated the entire Biafran children in 1960s, and this time around the persecution that is going on within Nigeria contraption was that political leadership of the country eludes the Igbos. The Igbos have not been able to be part of the political leadership of the country since 1966 till date. It is an eyesore. It is, let me say, the privation of the highest order. It is a hyper marginalization meted against Igbo man that the Fulani, the Yoruba, the Hausa, and the rest of them have been ruling Nigeria for over how many years now, and Nigeria has not been able to become a good country, a place to be. Meaning that the leadership of these tribes, at least aforementioned, are very, very fallible, incompetent, clueless leadership, while the Igbo man is still stepping aside watching. And this time around, exoneration, vindication has come through a book written by IBB. It is too obvious that the reason for that coup of 1966 was for a Yoruba man to become Nigerian president. And actually, you've seen what Awolowo later did to the Igbo in 1970.
Now, as we are closing, then the question is just simple and straightforward. How did Igbos were able to rise after the bad news of the Civil War? They gave them 20 pounds, according to what we read in history. But then they are now buying houses, they are building houses, they have traveled all across the world. How were they able to manage that 20 pounds? And that 20 pounds became a very big amount of money.
It was a great miracle. It is a story that nobody could actually tell, so fervently or perfectly. What took place amazes all humanity. Even the Igbos were, generally astounded. It was a great bewilderment that after 1970, Awolowo gave all of us 20 pounds, and before 1976, they had been able to build houses, to buy houses at Enugu GRA. I mean brick houses, built and managed by the British. Everywhere at Ogbete Crescent, Enugu GRA, were bought still by the same Igbo man. As I'm talking to you, in 1996, 1974, 75, we've been able to secure one at Enugu GRA. As I'm talking to you, all Enugu GRA were bought largely by the same Igbos. This success, this kind of story of breakthrough still remains a miracle to the sight of anybody that listens. Within a space of 50 years, Igbos have not only dominated Nigerian country, but outside Nigeria, all over the continent of Africa, even extended to Europe and Asia. When you talk about entrepreneurship and business, we see that the most prolific entrepreneur today in our world is Tony Elumelu. Tony Elumelu is of Igbo extraction from Delta State. And we can talk about Hubert Wigwe, the sole owner of Access Bank that died of plane crash last year, is of an Igbo extraction, I think, from River State. The Igbos after the war